beautiful.
And you're gonna get fucked up.
No, it's Monday. It's Monday, Sputter. Hello, welcome to the show. We already have a fax from Minner for the rebuild. Thanks very much, Minner. Appreciate it. That's really good of you. How you doing, buddy? Cheers. Happy Monday. Hey, I've so far got the vapor barrier down, which is pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to go into it, but it's a massive improvement. And we have another from What the Fuck Have You Done, who says, can I have any, please? You betcha. Any. We'll go SPY, and then we'll go Bitcoin, and then any, which might give us some hint to direction. And then any will mark out either side what we're looking for. If anybody else wants me to look at anything, just give GME a fax there. This SPY, we've been in a channel. We've got 3 touches at the top and the bottom. Rocky outcrop flashing around the basis line would break the channel. So if you don't break the basis line to the top side, then I would anticipate a test of the 236 at 408. If that doesn't hold, 404, 405, that'd be a 382 retracement. And then you'd be on for a test of 400, possibly. If it completely collapses, lower side Bollinger Bands way back down 389, you know? But I don't anticipate that happening in any short, sharp shrift. You also have this flash and at the basis line at the same time, which suggest like the level of support I would suggest. Rocky Outcrop Flash, get that at patreon.com/Rocky Outcrop version 2 out now, and it makes it a whole lot easier, along with a couple of sneaky little additions that you probably see over time in your trading account, the way that they work. Sneaky little top secret improvements. So we're also looking at this long-term level of support in at around 390, and if you just slap that onto a long-term trend line, it comes along these lows. You'd probably see that as a potential low and a formation in future. Anywho, at the moment, we're looking at potential moves to the top side. Does it happen? Well, breaking the basis line up at 415, high of the day 413. Then you might head towards 420, 422, 421 and change. That would be another touch of the top side of this channel. And you could make a move there easy peasy this week. If you didn't, you've got an awful lot of levels below that could catch you. And on the way there, you might create more, especially if you exceed this high at 415. I think you would be then looking quite quickly to 418, 420 though. So that would be the target on SPY if it moves up, and then we've got clear levels to look to if it breaks down. In terms of what direction do we anticipate things going, go to this chart. There's a GameStop video out. If you haven't seen it on my channel, it was out about 20 minutes ago. So this is this channel. We're on a 1 hour time frame here, right? So 200 period moving average is at 400. Couple of zones to be aware of. 404 is the first important one. Update this. Pardon me. Yes, 236 at 408. Well, that's important with a little gap there too, folks. That's an important area. I'm going to need another one of these. When you've got so many of these, it can be helpful or confusing if you're not using them properly. So if you were to break out of this channel, this is the helpful way, right? If you're to break out of this channel, you wonder where you would go to, because you'd be paying a lot of attention to this channel, and so is everyone else. Well, the first level you would look to would be that gap, which closes at 408, and then the bottom side of that, looking left, see in at around 407.90 something. And if that breaks, then you've got your 382 and another gap in at around 404, and those are where to look to. So if it breaks down, those are the areas. In terms of momentum, you're back above the center line RSI. That's good. Stochastics quite strong, and your volatility is picking up. So if you did drop down a move to 410, 408, that wouldn't be an expression of a breakout in volatility. And even though it is the 1 hour time frame, let's go to the 4 hour. Same situation here, right? Look at the sort of moves you get on this thing. That was from 391 to 418, right? So, a retracement to 408 is not going to give you the sort of signal that we're looking at potentially putting in at the minute. That would be of something much more significant. So breaking above that basis line, testing 420, yes. You know, that's definitely possible. If it breaks down, arresting it at 4.0, 4.10, 4.8, I don't think that'll be likely unless it's a fake out and we're going to go bounce back up again. So I'd be looking at potentially big moves coming, even though, you know, it's interesting enough as it is, the fact that it keeps going up, even though all the money says it's going down. But we know that makes it go up. Anyway, we've talked about this. You know, it's no surprise around here, and it's a Monday, and it's probably very close to late time wherever anyone is on planet Earth. So I expect you're aware of my messaging. Thanks for watching very much. Hit like button. So yeah, that's Bitcoin's not isn't the spy. Now we're going to Bitcoin. But a coin yesterday. Smiley face. Like the smiley face, so it's back there again. 29,450. The high we got up to and tested there was very interesting. 30,500. Oops, there it is at 31,000. That was really good from Bitcoin. Excellent news. Subsequently, 4-hour time frame went through the 50 simple, but the horizontal level of support was back here at 29.3. Tested it once. At that stage, you were in the bearish control zone. Haven't yet made it out on the 4-hour time frame, though. If you did, it would look to extreme amounts of divergence there, and then across in Stochastics, which hasn't yet turned up, but they're primed for another big move. It should break up. If SPY's going up, I don't think Bitcoin's going down. I'm not saying SPY is going up. It's just it has been going up, and I like the trend. It likes me. We go bowling, and you know, console each other in times of trading. So, yo, shoot, yeah, it's me. Oh, excellent. Well, let's make some money. And that sort of thing, you know, we're friends, right? Me and the trend, right? I think I've pretty much made that quite obvious. The trend and I, we're really good friends. Yeah, yeah, and that's been to the top side. So what do we think's happening here? Yeah, this signature again. That's just not, let's just look on a 2-day. Oh, it's starting. Oh, shucks. Did we not? This is why it's on the chart. We know all about it. Oh, the cross. Oh, with the volatility and the cross back down there. So what's the stochastics aren't looking fantastic on the 2-day, and the RSI, well, obviously that's bearishly divergent. So, oh, shocking. Oh, wow. Really what you want to see is bash on through that 4-hour time frame. Worst case scenario, 200 period moving average was that 28,268. Oof, that would be real bad, right? You'll go there. If you break below 29, you'll probably go to 28.2, and that would be tested 200 period moving average on 4-hour time frame. Not all that crazy, really. On the weekly time frame, which we've just started in a new week, so might as well flash this guy on. You had your negative cross there on the moving averages, price action testing them, pushing to the top side, and if it holds above the 200 here, that would be a very strong bullish sign on the weekly time frame to have performed that well. You don't have a 200 to go and confirm that with, but down to the 3-day, maybe that's not the best one to, nightmares will start. Where do we have a good example? We don't, so I have to be down here. Maybe the 2-day, where you have the negative cross here. Your price action going through, rejection from the 200. Clearly we went through the 200 at this stage. You're looking for an example here of, I mean, something like that. It's not the same, because nor is that, and I can't be bothered going forever, and it's on a different time frame anyway. I'm already losing utility. So the point I was trying to make was, I'm even losing myself now. Especially divergent. This formation looks like a little bit of a whole wedge, so people would be worried about the fact that these two lines are not parallel. Price action perhaps coming back down, testing that support in around 29, 24.9, 25, 24.9. That's very possible on that 2-day time frame if the volatility picks up and this signature says breaking down. But the stochastics here, you know, like they have turned down from where they are at the minute as the volatility signal that we're looking at was still being born. And we also had bearish divergence. And price, what was it like? Well, it was like IDGAF. And then it went back up through the 200 period moving average and it's bringing the 50 simple with us. So, you know, if it doesn't even need to go and test that right now, it can just hold the 200 on the wherever it was. Where's it above? Where is the 200 above? And it was an important time frame. Yo. Go up and test there. Back up at 29.8. That's the first level of resistance above. And if it breaks out of the bearish control zone here, you'd be breaking your downward slope and diagonal. Not that I really care there. Stochastics, probably that would be okay. But it doesn't look like the trend's very strong right now. And you've broken support on significant levels, those lower time frames. This 4 hour you're looking for to be bullish divergence. That's the main signal. You recover the 50 simple from here at 30,000. You open and close above that 50 simple. Body close in the 4 hour time frame. You'll recover 30 and you'll start putting in higher highs. That'll be what happens. I mean, in this trend, not all time. Still plenty of time for that. So SPY looks like it might push up. Bitcoin is waiting for a signal to go, at which point it will go. And that means for any, which was what Kitty donated for. Thanks so much, Kitty. That's really appreciated. Yourself and Minner, thank you very much, both of yous. Cheers. And 50 simple through the 200. This is not where we want to begin. Weekly, start of a new week. There's your 50 simple. It's back at the previous level of resistance, 0.5. 0.5, the next level to the top side on the weekly time frame. If you get above that, the weekly suggests you could got another 40% on price action, maybe even more, and you'd be looking at tests of around 0.7, 0.75. It's really enthusiastic. You've gone through that guy. That's interesting. Got a flash. You've not yet completely 0.56. So if you do, and your body closes in at this time frame, you've already tested a gov there with that wick. So if Bitcoin breaks up, which it will if SPY does, then it'll take any with it to 0.5, and that's at 30,000. If it goes higher still, I'd be looking at any to take it back above. Let me get this Fibonacci out. I would have expected to. I do. Shrew. How are you doing, Shrew? So 0.59. That's all very interesting and whatnot. But now you're talking about this as being a reversal formation then, and price action bouncing from here. 2-day time frame, high or low, got a trend line RSI and you're above the center line. This is like talking about a breakout move. That's what you're looking for here. In retrospect, when it gets up to the resistance there at 0.5, that's what people will be saying, could have got it in here. But then you've got a doji candle, you've gone through the 50 simple period moving average, haven't tested it yet, and there's you can see it as good as I can. Get it at www.patreon.com/rocketcrap. And daily time frame, you've got resistance with the 200 period moving average. So you really are relying on Bitcoin to do something for any to then push through. Though Kitties did say that he had shared the results there on any's most recent report in Discord on the any thread, which is a sub-thread on active trades part of the Discord. So check that room out, and I'll be adding my thoughts to it later. And if you want to get the Rocket Crop Flash, you also get coaching with it, how to use it, and access to all of our strategies around using it, everyone who's on it, and you get access to the Discord and all these other things that come with it. So you should definitely check that out if you haven't done already. Consider it. It's definitely the best option from all of the things that we offer for you to get more involved. And if it's a sacrifice here you need to take there to get that there, I'd recommend you do that. Right, so I still think people should be practicing though. $1 if they need any help. $1.20 a flash. You break the 200 period moving average on the daily, you are looking for resistance. And in terms of horizontal support, now resistance, it's at 0.5, and that's so proximate to the 200 that I wouldn't be putting any attention on it once you've gone through it. I'd be looking for higher tests. And that 0.75 was interesting until such times as we got down to these time frames. So it will be hidden to others that somewhere in it around 0.7 there is a weekly resistance. Oh, there it is there, a trace button line. And you've got this peak, and you've got probably other important information. But like, you can't see it here looking at this, and this is daily, so you're not going to see much else when you go down. But that's where it is, that line. and at around 0.7 you break above 5. In terms of this formation, you're not getting all that much off of that. I've seen it so many times. You need to break that horizontal level. Got your moving average cross to look to. 2 hour, not so bothered. 1 hour, positive splay, positive slope. 30 minutes. You had your bullish divergence. You needed it to close the gap. So close the gap, Sputter, and you left one back above, which you've also gone through, tested it as support and pushed back up to resistance. So you hold it now again where you are, essentially. You know, this is what it's also looking at. Any is also on the edge. If it does break down, it'll come back, test that 50 simple, 0.4. If that doesn't hold, you'll come back down, test the low side of this formation, probably in around 0.36. Get this guy on. I've already got these guys on. Probably have. I probably have. Gotcha. No, this is an addition. Golden pocket retracement in around 0.36. That's possibly what happens if it doesn't manage to go to the top side, which it wouldn't do only if Bitcoin was breaking down, which it probably won't do. But if SPY breaks down, then you probably would see more of a chance of it going to a support level. So that's what I'm thinking. And then I noticed Algo asked for EBON, I think. Is this correct? Oh, it was. 4 hour time frame, a lot of price action here on this chart. Here, that's interesting. Inverted head and shoulders was we was talking about. I can't remember talking about it specifically. I'm going through the drawings here. I can see the inverted head and shoulders we were talking about, speculating about. It would also represent a breakdown of this formation, which did manage to exceed these lows. I'm talking about tweezer bottom, 200 period moving average, 50 simple going through it. That's interesting. Weekly, you've pulled out of the bearish control zone. The price action's a mess, but I wasn't really looking for that. Just the RSI there, pulling out of the bearish control zone's good. Stochastics crap, but then I'm not really looking to this trend. And it is being tested in that it's not being clear at the minute. So yeah, you are looking for something clear here, and a move to 10. That would be pretty clear. 10 on the weekly is what you're looking to if you manage to exceed 7 spots 17 and 8 spot 20. Then I'd look to 10. Oosh. Oh, this is here. It's all coming back to me now, right? So, you managed to get out of this guy, and then what? Retest it, I suppose. Get out of my face, this thing. This thing's annoying. Excuse me while I move this. Oh, if I could just... Awesome. It didn't... Sweet. Right, so... yeah, retested this. Fine. Don't need that anymore. Keep this. We've got this 50 simple period moving average here, and it's providing resistance to price action at the minute. If you were to start moving back above it, 236 comes in 633. That's the first level, and it also matches up with the 50 simple and current level of resistance on price action. As we say, 50 simple's acting as resistance. Then the 382 is at 704. And a 50% retracement at 7.68. So 768 is likely the target if you break back above that 50 simple after this rejection move, and then finding support, because you've got... Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, this looks quite bad. It's quite bad that it's below that 50 simple, you know. And in context, this price action is pretty bad. I mean, on that weekly time frame, all you're really seeing was that horrible, messy line down again. So... You know, you have to be very careful with this guy. Very careful. 2-day looks interesting, that it does. And then I can see that line looks a little bit crazy here. You could probably have that as a channel. And it does represent price action sort of slackening off. Whereas the RSI is putting in lower lows. And each of these highs, when they do exceed trend, previous one, and go higher, price action doesn't, so you're getting like continuation divergence with these as if it's a downtrend, but it's not really a downtrend there. And stochastics at this low level is like another representation of that. And sure, you've got your volatility signal, but what does it look like on the 2-day? It's not enough here. So a 4 hour spread them out. Spread them price action. So the 50 simple is above the 200 price action. You know, it hasn't been since that recovery, which is also part of a lower high. This is like desperately crap at the minute. The only thing you're starting to get good news on is the 2 hour time frame, where you're back above a sentinel line RSI. Sure, you've got continuation divergence, so it's also like anything good about what I just said is gone. But you are testing a previous level of resistance, so if you get above it, then you would counter the negativity and push probably to the 200. I mean, from the artifacts here, you've got that's not a gap. So you're looking at a 200 period moving average. It's just every time I look and go more into it, I'm thinking, we'll have to take those topside targets down a chunk because it's too risky. And really, it's like you're looking at breaking this level before it starts to become a low risk trade, because then you've got a clear area to manage it at, and you've got a clear area to target until such times as it can just start like, and that 50 simple follow it down and it like pick off these lows, in which case then it starts invalidating this whole idea of this being like the second part of a downward sloping formation that was going to constitute a reversal. So, you know, and it could be a horrible, painful experience. But whereas if it does ever break up, you'd get a move. You'd get that move on especially if you become familiar with price action and you're staring at the chart. You don't need to have an open position to still be engaged with what's going on. 200 period moving average on the 1 hour time frame. You found support at that 50 simple. This here could be considered to be bullish divergence, reversal divergence between these two lows, and that price is lower and RSI isn't. They're both in like awful places. But you've seen a reaction. You come to the 200, you now need to push above it. And in terms of, we'll do this because we're here, a move, 50% retracement, you've not made it there. You did push above the 382 and you're kind of holding it on the body closes. So there is that, there is that. There is something coming. There is something coming. Get out. I wanted to delete that. You're making me not look cool. So yeah, there's your, the one of the reasons, that and price action itself and what we saw elsewhere. You want to be bing, bing, bong, bing, bong, 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 bing, bong. And at which stage, lateral price action will not exceed any important horizontals, but will defeat a downward sloping horizontal. And that gives you something to rest on when you go for that little jump up again to test the horizontals, do something that means something for once already, for goodness sake, EBON. So yeah, that's what you're looking for. Break that 200 at 644. Maybe you get up to $697, then 750. 790, and then those other targets higher up, which now seem so incredibly extreme. 30 minutes, if you're not in it, you're looking for a 30-minute test of in around 50 simple to work out positively a 236 and F5 spot 85, and that might give you an entry if you're desperate to get in, and you hope it comes back down there, but you probably prefer it to break to the top side. That's maybe a lower risk, very little biscuit at all, and you can manage the chocolate ratio with good technical analysis, which you could determine from good studying in the discipline with great coaching from me. Many, many hours, as many as it takes to get you good at coaching. If you persist with me, I'll make sure it counts. I'll make sure it counts. Where do I want to go to? This will do? Yes. Jesus, cameras. I've got like I don't know. I suppose it's like a haircut, but it's not. It's just, anywho. So yeah, I have to work on this faded camera. Thanks everybody for tuning in on today, this Monday. I know there's been the odd bits of silly drama with folks that don't have the staying power or commitment or moral backbone to commit to their own word, and that. And silly situations best left to suffocate and die on their own. And I want to thank everybody for sticking with me and supporting the channel, and it's difficult, sometimes in life, these people come into your environment and you'll have met them before or at least read about them, or there's plenty of TV shows about them. And what they do is they mimic you and they mirror your behaviors, they adopt your phraseology, and often you'll see them walking around with your charts in their pockets. Sometimes they've got a sandwich box, stood on it, and they're blaring out everything that you spent hours writing down and articulating, conceptualizing, and then making more concise. And they're saying it, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm the only human being in the world that will ever have said that like that. But you'll be like, wow. And they'll be seeing that person, they'll be associating the feelings they have with you with them, which is a mistake. That's a mistake. Don't let that happen. That's one of the secrets of the lizard people. They do that sort of stuff, you know, so you gotta be careful, right? Get them off your back, those lizard people. They're all over the shop, right? They stick to you too. Like spiders, you walk through a spider web and you got that feeling, right? Well, you hear a trade spotting phrase said somebody that ain't trade spotting, you should be getting those. Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, hit the like button.